The early afternoon sun spilled through the living room curtains, casting soft golden lines across the wooden floor. It was unusually warm for spring, and the air in the house was quiet, almost too quiet. My husband had left that morning for a weekend work trip, kissing me goodbye with a tired smile and a reminder. Don't forget Malik and Darius might stop by to drop off the speaker. I had completely forgotten. After finishing the dishes, I went upstairs for a quick shower, planning to change into something comfortable and curl up with a book. The hot water relaxed my muscles, and I found myself lingering, letting my thoughts drift. The house felt safe. Still. Empty. Wrapped in a towel, I padded back into the bathroom, reaching for my moisturizer when I heard it. The front door creaking open downstairs. Voices followed, low and familiar. Malik and Darius. I froze. I had no idea they were coming now. Their laughter echoed faintly up the stairwell. I quickly tightened my towel and stepped back inside the bathroom, hoping they wouldn't come upstairs. But just as I was about to close the door, I heard footsteps climbing. Yo, she home? I think so. Cars out front. She probably upstairs. Panic fluttered in my chest. I didn't want to yell, not like this, half naked and startled. I was about to call out when the footsteps stopped right outside the bathroom. And then the door creaked open. Malik stood there first, tall, athletic, his dark eyes going wide. Darius appeared behind him, eyebrows raised, clearly just as surprised. My heart pounded. Their eyes swept over me, taking in the towel, the damp hair, the bare legs. A long pause filled the room, charged and heavy. Sorry, Malik said, not moving. We didn't mean to, Darius began, but he stopped too. I could have screamed. I could have slammed the door. But I didn't. I don't know why. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe something else. They stepped inside slowly. The door clicked shut behind them. The air between us was no longer just awkward, it was electric. They didn't say a word. Neither did I. Instead, time seemed to dissolve as their presence closed in around me, intoxicating and intense. Malik reached out first, brushing a drop of water from my collarbone. His fingers lingered for a second too long. Darius stepped in behind me, his warmth close enough to feel. My breath hitched. It was reckless. Unspoken. Unreal. Hands, slow and deliberate. Eyes locking. The towel slipped slightly, but no one moved to stop it. What happened next was a blur of emotion, of boundaries bending under the weight of attraction and tension too long ignored. There were kisses not rushed, but deep, exploratory. Hands tangling, arms wrapping. It was like the world outside the bathroom didn't exist. Then everything stilled. I heard the unmistakable click of the front door unlocking. The sound of the front door unlocking echoed like a thunderclap in that tiny, steamy bathroom. 3 pairs of eyes met. For a second, we didn't move. We barely breathed. Malik stepped back first, his chest still rising and falling from the charged moment before. Darius turned toward the door instinctively, then looked back at me, his eyes scanning mine as if searching for instructions. Is that him? Malik whispered. I nodded slowly, still clutching the edge of my towel, hands trembling now, not from fear, but from the collision of desire, guilt, and sheer panic. The thud of shoes dropping in the foyer. Keys clinking on the side table. His voice, casual and cheerful. Babe? You home? My heart sank to my stomach. Darius looked toward the bathroom window. It's too small, he muttered. No time, Malik added, his voice tense but low. I don't know what to do, I whispered, feeling the flush drain from my face. And then a terrifying sound. Footsteps. Coming up the stairs. Slow. Steady. Closer. He was calling again. Babe. I opened my mouth to respond, but no sound came out. Then, I did something I couldn't explain even if I tried. I turned, pressed a finger to my lips, and whispered, Hide. Malik and Darius exchanged a glance, and without a word, they moved, Darius into the linen closet, barely big enough to hold his broad frame, and Malik behind the bathroom door, tucked into the small space between it and the sink. The moment the doorknob turned, I took one step back, pulled my towel tighter, and forced a smile. The door opened, and there he was, my husband. He looked surprised to see me standing there, still damp from the shower, breath unsteady. "Hey," he said with a grin. "You okay?" I nodded quickly. "Yeah, just got out." His eyes narrowed slightly, scanning my face. "You look flushed. You sure you're okay?" The silence behind the door was deafening. Darius's heavy breathing. Malik's shadow just inches from where my husband stood. My own pulse, hammering so loud I was sure he could hear it. "I'm fine," I repeated. "I wasn't expecting you back so soon." He chuckled. "Early flight. I figured I'd surprise you." He stepped closer, wrapped his arms around my waist, and kissed my cheek. I almost jumped. "Still warm from the shower," he said with a smile. "Smells like mangoes in here." I laughed nervously. "Yeah, I just used the new body wash." He paused, looking at me again. "You sure everything's all right?" A beat, too. And then a sound. Soft. Barely audible, but enough. A creak from the closet door. My husband's gaze snapped in that direction. What was that? My breath caught in my throat. The sound had been barely there, a soft creak, like wood settling, but my husband heard it, clear as a bell. His head tilted slightly, eyes fixed on the closed linen closet. His grip around my waist loosened just a little. "What was that?" he asked again, voice still calm, too calm. I swallowed hard. My mind raced for an excuse, any excuse. "The dryer," I said quickly. "I think I left it on. Sometimes it makes that noise." He frowned. "Sounded closer than that." He took a step toward the closet. My pulse thudded in my ears. "No, really." I moved to stop him, placing a hand gently on his arm. "It's nothing. I promise." But he didn't stop. His eyes lingered on the closet door like it was speaking to him. He reached out. I heard Malik shift slightly behind the open bathroom door. Darius was holding his breath. I could feel it. The whole room was holding its breath. Fingers on the doorknob. A click. My husband pulled it open. Towels. Shelves. Cleaning supplies. But no Darius. He wasn't there. I blinked. Confused. Was I imagining things? I could have sworn. My husband chuckled, easing the door shut. "Guess you were right." I nodded, forcing a laugh I didn't feel. "Told you." He kissed my forehead and turned away. "I'm starving." "You eat already?" "No," I said, almost too quickly. "I'll come down in a second." As soon as his footsteps retreated down the stairs, I shut the bathroom door again and turned. Fast. Malik was still behind the door, looking at me like I'd just pulled him back from the edge of a cliff. "Where is he?" I whispered. And then the linen closet shifted again, and Darius's had popped up from behind the bottom shelf. He had pulled out the baseboard panel, a hidden crawl space I didn't even know existed. "I was military," he whispered, trying not to smile. "We're trained for this." I stared at him, half shocked, half impressed. Malik shook his head. "This is insane," he muttered. "We need to go. Now." I nodded. "Okay. Back door. Go one at a time." But just as I opened the door a crack to make sure the coast was clear, I saw him, my husband, standing at the bottom of the stairs, looking right up at me. His expression wasn't angry or surprised. It was something worse. He was smiling. "Don't worry," he said softly, almost too softly. "I know. Not cold. Not angry. But controlled, too calm. Like a man who had been waiting for this moment." My breath caught in my throat. Malik, still behind the bathroom door, froze in place. Darius, crouched low, carefully eased the panel closed behind him without making a sound. I stepped forward slowly. What do you mean?" I asked, forcing my voice to stay steady. My husband leaned casually against the banister, arms crossed over his chest, head tilted slightly. I said, "I know." A pause. "You know what?" I tried again. He raised an eyebrow. "Come on. I'm not stupid." His eyes didn't blink. "You think I haven't seen the way Malik looks at you? Or how quiet the room gets when Darius is around?" My fingers gripped the doorframe, knuckles pale. I've ignored it, he continued, slowly stepping up the stairs. Told myself it was nothing. But the little things add up. The missing wine glasses. The changed towels. The perfume I never buy, but always seem to smell when I come home unexpectedly. He reached the top step. The air around us thickened. Today, he said, nodding slowly, was the final confirmation. Behind me, I heard Malik exhale, silent, but full of regret. Darius didn't move. The house felt like it was holding its breath again. And then my husband said something I didn't expect. I'm not here to yell, or fight, or pretend I'm innocent in all of this. I blinked. What? I've been distant, he admitted. More focused on work than us. I saw it happening, I let it happen. But I need to know one thing. He stepped closer. Just a few feet away now. Is this something you wanted, or something that just happened? The weight of the question slammed into me harder than if he had shouted. My mouth opened, but no words came out. Because the truth was, I didn't know. Yes, it had been spontaneous. Yes, it had been reckless. But part of me, a small, quiet part, had been drawn to that fire for a while. Not out of hatred, not boredom, but longing. For attention. For connection. For something unsaid. I began. He held up a hand. No lies. Not today. Silence. Then, who's in the house right now? He asked. I froze. You think I didn't hear the second floor creak? I grew up in this house. I know it sounds like I know my own breath. He looked past me. Tell them to come out. No more games. Another pause. And then, Malik stepped out first. He didn't say a word. Just stood tall, chest out, jaw clenched, ready for anything. Darius followed, quieter, more cautious. The three men stood in a triangle of silence. Then my husband nodded. All right. What now? I asked, barely above a whisper. He gave a half smile. Now we talk. All of us. Because if we're going to break something or rebuild it. He looked at me. We need to start with the truth.